good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. My name is Rebecca Nichols, and this is my podcast, Royal Treats. Well, it's a good morning here on Tuesday, here in London, and I wanted to come on and share with you a little bit of what's been happening in my world. And well, I've been in reflection for the past week. It's been a week, hasn't it, since I've spoke to you last and since you heard my voice. And if you've been keeping up with the podcast, well, it's really lovely to have you back and tune in. I really appreciate your support as I share my journey and encourage you to think a little bit bigger, dream a little bit bigger, and stay in that magic, baby. So we have had a solar eclipse. I wrote a blog post yesterday, which you can check out, www.queenofmylife.london. And I was talking about the energy that's been hitting the planet now, and what it all means in a spiritual sense, I guess. That's what I'm trying to interpret through my writing, through my talking, and through my sharing. It's a time of transformation. It's a time of change, and eclipses can signify things that we need to remove in our lives. They can also signify some work that needs to be done. And in this case, I think we should be thinking about our beloved shadow. Now, what is the shadow, you say? Now, this might not be new to some of you. Some of you might know the shadow. And it was actually on a flight to Bangkok at Christmas with my son when we were traveling to Cambodia. I had a very interesting man sit on the flight with me, who was a bit afraid of flying. But we had a conversation, quite a long conversation actually, about Carl Jung and his theories. And duality is all about the shadow, and understanding and recognizing that you have a shadow that's following you around, that's maybe been sabotaging your life for a long time. And what do I mean by that? Well, I had a shadow, which was myself. I'm not any different from the being I was. I'm still the same person in many ways, but I'm very different. And the difference is I now have this awareness of every part of me, including the shadow that I couldn't see before, because it's shadow. How many of us can see our shadow? Not all the time, only when there's light. Isn't that true, right? Of course, when the sun shines in certain directions or certain ways, we see a shadow, but otherwise we wouldn't see it. So when some light is shed on some things, you may have this awareness of yourself. Now, the past couple of weeks, actually, some things have been coming to light in many areas of my life, but also I think in a lot of areas of your lives. And that's why I've been connecting with you guys more. I've been putting myself out there and stepping into my power. And they were having greater connections with many, many women across the globe throughout my platform. And that's been inspiring to me, that I've been able to touch the hearts of so many women of all different ages, of all different backgrounds, of all different colours, and that we can come together and unite with the fact that, well, we're women. We're pretty powerful, super awesome human beings. So what is stopping us stepping into our power as these goddesses? And I've been really owning my goddess lately. feeling really empowered, and therefore empowering others through my own sense of self. What is stopping you from really moving in to a higher space and a higher place and becoming the being that you need to be whilst on this planet? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with your life or anything that needs to change if you don't feel that it needs to change. I don't want you to play small though. You know, I don't want you to think that it's not possible for you based on past experiences, or if you were going to compare yourself to another being, you might think it's not possible. You know, we fall into these traps, comparison being one and self-sabotage being the other. So if you're going to compare yourself to another human being who's at a different level in their life, then you'll always fall short. And if you're only going to get in your own way, well, you're just going to stay in the same place that you'll always be in. You've got to be willing to change. And so I really hope this eclipse and this season, the fiery Leo season, I call it, where we've had 2 new moons in Leo, will help you really take action on the being that you need to be. Not necessarily the being you are, but what if you could be anyone? What could be, what would you want people to look at you like? The great I am. I never looked at myself as an influencer. I just shared my stories, and I hope that it'd resonate with someone and hope that it would help someone on their journey. But it just so happens that I have been influencing people in a social way from my platforms, and I guess that just happens organically throughout the process of sharing and showing up. I'll share a story because I think it's quite important that I share every aspect of my life. Recently, I've been going through some changes in terms of how I feel about myself and how I look at myself and who I want to be as the woman, what kind of woman do I want to be? What kind of human being do I want to be? And what do I kind of look for in a partner, in a relationship, and what's been happening in relationships the past couple of years, and looking at things on a deeper level. I'm always doing that because I always want to be my best. I always want to be the best human being I could be for myself, for my son, for my community, for the women that I serve. I want to be checking in with myself all the time and make sure that, number one, my shadow's not getting in the way, or my ego, kind of, you can call it that, and that's kind of what it is. And that I'm being true to myself and that I'm being authentic. And as long as I know that I'm being authentic and I'm being my true self and I'm speaking my truth and I'm showing up in power and I'm being creative and I'm trusting the universe and I know that I'm a divine being and I know that I create this reality. And so therefore, I know nothing can stop me apart from me. But people can stop you. And that's what's been happening. People have been stopping me from going forward. And it's not because of the things I say about myself. It's the things they say about themselves. And it's how they feel about themselves that they project out. And it could be their own fears or their own insecurities or their own lack of power. Because they don't know how to step forward and shine and step into their power. So therefore, they would prefer to make you look small, or they will prefer to tell you that you're not important, or they will try to put you down in one way or another. I'm not perfect. In fact, the last chapter of my book, The Journey to Queendom, which is definitely coming soon. The long anticipated autobiography of the year, is really a chapter about a huge amount of reflection that's been happening in the past year in terms of Jupiter. Jupiter's entered Libra last year in September, and this may mean something to you. It may mean nothing to you, but it definitely meant something to me as a Libra. And it meant that it was going to be a year of transformation, and that is exactly what happened. Everything went upside on its head. It was all kind of... it was just, upside down, you're turning me, you giving up. And that was my life. And I didn't know how to deal with it, but I knew that was what I had to deal with. I wasn't prepared for it. A lot of sudden changes happen, and you might find that to be happening with you soon. And it was, Mercury retrograde August last year, going into September, and so now Jupiter's leaving Libra. Thank you, Jupiter, and will be entering Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio, buckle up. You're about to go on a ride. And it is a year of great change. It will be a year where you rediscover who you are as a being. Jupiter does that to you. It will bring you everything you need, not what you want. I didn't want any of it. I was pretty happy where I was, but the universe had other plans. Now, in that year, I had lost a friendship, 2 friendships, a significant amount of money, my boyfriend, nearly my home. And that's the bad side, I guess. The flip side, and the good side, and the brighter side, I found myself. I discovered who I was as a human being and who I wanted to be, and I discovered my worth. More importantly, I discovered that I was talented, that I could actually write. So I did. I wrote a book. I got really vulnerable with you guys about a lot of stuff. I cried on a few videos. I shared all my woes as well as my glory. And I connected a lot deeper with my tribe because of it. And I think we really, really hold back. We don't show people who we really are out of fear of being judged and shamed, and ridiculed, and laughed at and mocked, and told that we're a pest and we're bothering people, because that's been happening lately with a lot of the stuff that I've been sharing. And you might feel that I'm doing that. You might feel that I'm bothering you. And it's okay, because I don't mind bothering people or pushing my power onto people in many ways, because I don't think it's a bad thing to have power. I used to think that having power was bad, and I used to envy people with power, and I used to be jealous, and because I didn't understand what power really is. But yesterday, the moon blocked out the sun, and most of America stood in darkness for a short period of time. And today, when I woke up at stupid o'clock, whatever it was, 5 a.m, and I think it was my guides just waking me up, and my ears were ringing, and my head was pounding, and I said, wow, we got a new energy here. What are we going to do with it? And I laid awake. I said, come on, let's get up. Let's start this day. Let's do this. So, morning mantras, morning yoga, some breakfast. I scrolled on social media. I got contacted by one woman, and she did say to me, I don't really want you sending me messages about your posts. If I wanted to read your posts, I'd find it. And at first I could be up in my ego. I didn't, because it's not worth it. But then I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just stepping into my power, and I'm shining bright, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just like the sun shows up every single day and is not afraid to shine bright because the sun knows that it is providing power to the earth, which we need. I know that, I can't give a damn about people that aren't interested in seeing me in my power shining bright. And I cannot and absolutely won't shrink myself to fit into someone else's box of what I should be, what I should or shouldn't be doing. So there's much darkness that needs to be uncovered, and there's much light that needs to be shone on darkness. And the darkness is the stuff that we don't realise that we're carrying around inside us. This was the darkness that consumed me for 20 years. As far as I was concerned, I was absolutely okay. There was nothing wrong with me in my life. But yet I was self-sabotaging myself in many, many, many ways. And what do I mean by that? You could have an absolutely amazing life. You could be happy. I'm not telling you you've got to be miserable, but you could have moments of joy. But it's that getting up every day with that purpose and that meaning and that excitement for being alive is what I want every human being to experience, to treasure, to live life on their own terms. And this isn't about money. Money is great and it will help us and it will give us many life experiences. And, I think for me, I've come from having none to having some to, to being abundant in every area of my life. I think we search outside of ourselves to find happiness, or we look for happiness in others, but yet we never really look within to figure out what it is that makes us feel happy regularly. And that could purely be because we don't understand that we create the happiness. We've got to look at life from a different objective and a different perspective. The way you see things. Dr. Wayne Dwyer is one of my favourites, and he's like, change the way you see things and the way you see things will change. And this is so true. How I see life now is very, very different to the life that I was living 3 years ago, and that was with money. A lot of it at that time. But what really gives us the satisfaction of being here, being present, is gratitude. Are we really grateful for this life experience? Are we grateful for it all? Or do we have moments of gratitude? So I've been practicing the Magic by Rhonda Byrne. Rhonda Byrne even. Barn. And it's a great book, and I highly recommend that you all get involved in that and practice doing a gratitude journal. Journaling and writing has really helped me come into a new space, definitely a higher space. It's allowed me to be the human being that I have always wanted to be and longed to be for a very long time. And it's not complicated. It doesn't have to be. I think we really do try to overcomplicate things in our lives, and because we get overwhelmed by a lot of things, but it doesn't have to be that way. And so I encourage you all to do the work that you need to do on the inside to be the human being that you were born to be, to shine, to be full of power, radiant, glowing, just like the sun. Because for all you know, the darkness could be consuming you. You just don't know because you don't have the awareness of that the darkness is consuming you. So some of the things that I have battled with have been mental illness, communication problems, trust issues, not receiving love, not giving love, not open to receive love. Definitely power issues, which I've resolved, obviously, clearly. Here, podcasting, sharing my message to the world. And really loving myself. Really understanding who I am as a human being. And loving every part of me. Even the dark stuff. It's acceptance, isn't it? You know, it's understanding that none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. We're only human. And so therefore, we can't put blame everywhere. It's too easy to do that. That's just the easy way out. We need to look at our lives and take responsibility for our lives. And we have to show up to our lives every day and say, today's on me. I got this. And don't give people our power. Don't give people that power over our lives to destroy us with their insecurities and their fears and their projections and their traumas and their woes. Because people will do that. People will unload their crap on you and they'll expect you to take it. I'm guilty. I've done that. I'm only human. 100%. So I'm aware of that. And I think we hurt the ones that are closest to us when we do that. They get the brunt of it. Guaranteed. If your husband's had a bad day, comes in from work, you know, he might be a bit ratty with you. Or vice versa. Or your kid might give you lip because he lost his favourite computer game. Whatever. You know. I think we hold a certain amount of space for each other as humans to express ourselves, to show our true selves, to be the light and shine that light on for others. I liken it to like being a lighthouse. You see, because a lighthouse just stands tall and strong and shines its light. It doesn't go out looking for lost ships. No. It just shines. And that's all you need to do in this life, is shine. Stand tall, stand strong, and shine. And especially if you're a light worker and you do the stuff that I do and do the work I do, I understand how difficult it can be to be in this position in life. But you chose this, and this is your path, if it truly is your path. But don't play small if this is your path. If you're a light worker and you're not getting noticed and you're not showing up and people aren't coming to you and you're not making that big impact, then I would suggest you really raise the bar. Because the world needs your light. We definitely aren't here to play small. You know, and small minds will be around. You know, we know that. We know that there'll be people who just hell bent on playing the real safe card throughout their whole life. It's a comfort thing. It's a comfort zone. Let me just have my house and my 2.4 children, and I'll get my retirement, and I'll get my pension, and then I'll die at some point. I don't know, maybe I'll die when I'm 80 something. But I would have lived a good life. You know, I'd have played it safe. I wouldn't have died early. I wouldn't have taken any risks. I wouldn't have maybe travelled so much. No. But you know, there's two types of people in the world, I guess. There's those who dare to be different, and there's those who like just to fit in. and be comfortable. I don't want you to fit in and be comfortable. But you might feel that's your only place to be in life, is to fit in and be comfortable. Maybe you need to get out of your comfort zone and step into a brave new world. Because you have nothing to lose. I mean, I know I'm not for everyone. I know there are people that won't get it. I know that people will think the work I do is a whole lot of nonsense. It's very woo, it's very spiritual, it's very out there, it's kind of a little bit uncomprehendable to certain minds. And there'll be those who really run with it, who are like super excited for it and understand it. I mean, these are my tribe, and I get that. And then there's some that just sitting on the sidelines, watching, waiting for the opportunity to come, for them to show up, to step on board, to take action. Don't wait. Don't wait. I want to call you out because now is the time to change, for transformation, for new beginnings, to actually make a difference in this world. You have to be the person you were born to be. Get up every morning, make your bed, say your prayers, give thanks for the day, kick some butt in the gym, eat your greens, drink coffee, smash your goals, pray, do some yoga, meditate, get in a bath, love yourself, take yourself out to dinner, buy yourself flowers, go on that walk along the river because you deserve it. Whatever it is that lights up your soul, please, for God's sake, just do that. I spent 20 odd years in darkness. So my only mission is that I get as many people out as possible. Because we don't belong there. We don't belong in that space. It's actually a very grey day here in London. And I'm looking at the window now thinking, when am I going to see some blue sky, London? And then I think back to all the good times that I did see blue sky. I find some gratitude there. But imagine just this dark clouds hovering over your life. And these dark clouds could come in the form of relationships, your job, maybe your education. There's something going on that is stopping you and blocking you and keeping you in bondage. If so, what? If you could even say bondage. I'm getting a bit kinky in the morning. But it's keeping you in a space where you feel that you can't break out of. Maybe you're feeling trapped. Maybe you trapped yourself in your own cage. Maybe you're a caged bird and you just need to get out and fly. Caged birds, they don't really know what to do when they're out and they're flying. They don't. They tend to want to get back in the cage. It's very interesting. But you were born to soar. You were born to fly. That we've all come to this planet with gifts and talents. And I think it would be a shame if we don't live out our gifts and our talents. I think it would be a tragedy if we do not go to our graves knowing that we did everything in our power to shine our light on this world and make that impact. And, well, let's face it, leave a legacy. I'd love to. And if you'd love to and you're you're thinking to yourself, yeah, there is more. I do need to step into my power. I do need to create more. I do need to set up that website. I do need to start that business. I do need to end that relationship. I do need to go back to college and retrain because my job sucks ass. And I need to do this for me. Then I would love to be able to help you, encourage you, support you on your new life journey, if that's the direction that you feel that you need to go. Please do feel free to drop me an email, info@queenofmylife.london, and let's connect. Or drop me a message on my Instagram, queenofmylife.london. You can find me there. Drop me a DM. I'm very keen on the DMs. And also you can tweet me at queenofmylife80. Yeah. I would love to be able to really take you to the next level of your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I've got people on my program who are in their 60s. God, I love them. They are so fired up. It's like a second wind of life. And they are just not holding back. They are just like, what the fuck? Because maybe for 20 odd years, like me, they've been in darkness. I feel grateful. Although I'm 36 and I think I could have achieved so much more, I feel grateful for the woman I was, the experiences I had, for all the darkness and for all the sorrow as well. I think, we learn so much from that space, and I think we always have to be grateful for everything that we've encountered so far in our life journeys. It's made us who we are. So no resent there at all. But, I want to speak to the younger generation, really, the sort of 20-something girls coming through. And if I can connect with them and show them who they can be, and show them a possibility for their future. I remember I was a 16-year-old girl who was addicted to crack and got into recent bad things, hanged around with the bad people, and was really easily led astray, and was very vulnerable. I caught up in so much madness, and I think what I needed at that age was someone like me, a mentor, someone who could guide me to being the person I needed to be at that age, at that time. So maybe that's you. Maybe you need a mentor, or maybe you need someone to guide you and help you. This is the very reason why I've developed my programs, so that I'm accessible to everyone. My skills and my expertise and my knowledge and my understanding of what life is and my perspective is going to be able to help so many women step into a place where they do feel empowered and ready and able to take on life. Yeah. I hope this message has resonated with you. I wish you all the possibilities for your life, and that they come true, and that desires of your heart will be met. I wish you a very, very good day on this Tuesday, and I hope it's magical for you in every single way. And I thank you very much for being here, being present and listening. And God bless you all. Take care.